It is Tuesday, which means Tradition Tuesday here on the Tradition campus. A lot of traditions there of William Carey University. Dr. Dean Bertram, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Now, you are the Associate Professor of Criminal Justice and Forensic Science. Did I get that right?
That's it. You got it.
Well, tell us a little bit about that. There's a lot going on there.
It is. Well, I was hired at William Carey about 5 years ago. I'm a career forensic science guy. Love it, have a passion today as much as I did when I started 30 years ago. But what I really liked is a new challenge in my life, coming to William Carey, starting a new program from scratch, trying to get a bachelor's degree up and running. Took us a few years, but now it's a full-fledged bachelor's degree in forensic science, which is, it's awesome.
So you have experience in law enforcement.
A little bit in law enforcement, but my background is science, in polymer science. I've worked in polymer for 13 years. I ran a crime lab under a grant, crime scene investigation under a grant, so a lot of moving parts, but no, more of a science person.
So you're one of those ones that knows just how much in the TV shows is real and how much isn't.
I do. I came from a law enforcement background. My dad was a sheriff for 30 years, and that's what I thought I was always going to do, but fell in love with the sciences and math and knew that was going to be a challenge and fun.
That's a huge part of the criminal justice world, is the science piece of it. I have a degree in criminal justice myself, and I was not aware of that until I got involved.
Right.
There's a great deal of that. So tell us a little bit about the forensic science courses that you have here at William Carey.
Okay, so I think William Carey has a really good curriculum because it involves all different types of people. You have criminal justice background people, you have biology people, you have chemistry people, people in nursing, even forensic nursing, psychology. It's a big, big basket of people, and it all falls under one umbrella. It's really a great place.
And they're mostly hands-on courses that you have.
It is. Forensic science is something you do. It's not something you talk about. Yeah, there's a little bit of theory and background, but it's something you want to get your feet wet and you do. And because of that, William Carey has a lot of equipment. So when students come in, they actually get to handle things and touch things and do it. So on their resume, they don't just say they heard it, they actually did it. So when they go to work for an agency, they hit the ground running.
So is it possible in this field to have online courses?
It is. We have a couple online courses. They are required to take some criminal justice courses that are online. We have some hybrids, so we try to reach every type of person, but you have to put in them lab hours to be qualified.
That's what I love about the William Carey University campus and the curriculum as a whole, is that we've noticed, I guess, that the college student has changed over the years, and you don't have your typical high school grad coming right into college. You have college entry from students from all walks of life, and you have the ability to really build around what those folks need for their education.
I think you're right. Yeah, they come from all different. My background's a little bit in adult education. When I first started teaching, I was younger than some of the students, so it helps you. As you progress through the academics, you get to see all these different types of people and age groups.
For sure, and it's nice to have folks that, in terms of the brain power, know what they're talking about, but then to have those individuals who've done it, who physically have had boots on the ground, that's a big difference.
I agree. I like having students that have boots on the ground. I think that's really important because they ask really good questions and they keep you up to date, because you have to know your stuff if people are out there doing it. So,
do you think maybe they're asking you questions about experiences they've had in the field to see if what they're doing in the field is right?
I think it is. I think that's good, yeah. And myself, you know, when you're in academics, you have a lot of students. So I keep in touch with all my students because techniques change and they're just one phone call away. So like the equipment that we received from William Carey came from the FBI. And that FBI, the way we got it from the FBI is that was one of my former students. So I would call him throughout my whole career and never lost touch. And I think that's so important to stay in touch with all of your students as well as your faculty.
It's good to know that you have that relationship with those students years after they're gone.
That's the passion, you know, it's to be able to touch people through interaction.
So tell us about the job outlook for those individuals who are forensic science majors. What is that? You know, you always think of going into a career field that you know you'll be able to get a job in as soon as you finish school. So
I'm glad you asked that question, because as a forensic scientist, we have to do our homework. So just before this meeting, I looked it up. So we have a 15% job increase for the next 10 years, which is about 5% for all other majors. So it's a really, really good field to get into.
And that's tough, right? I say it's tough. That's great. It's a tough field to get into because it's not one that you wake up one morning as a junior in high school or a freshman in college and say, you know, I think I'm going to be in criminal justice. I think I'm going to be in forensic science. It's not just a wake up and decide kind of field. It's one of those things that you're called to do.
I agree. I think so. We did have a little bit of help with some of the television shows, and students would come and they're all excited about all the different things in forensic science, but realize you do have to take 2 biologies, 2 chemistries, and 2 physics, and some math. So when a person graduates in 4 years, it's more than just that interest of coming in because of a TV show.
Yeah, it's not just Dexter and you're getting
Correct.
to like analyze blood spatters. What they don't tell you in that show is all the years of education
That's
he had
correct.
to go into that.
And I'm glad it's like that, because just imagine being a convicted felon and someone didn't put the homework in to get you off or to make that arrest.
Sure. The television shows sell the program. You guys teach the program.
That's
I think
correct.
Is how that works.
That's correct.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to have that. It's good to have that help from Hollywood.
Sometimes. I don't always like the Hollywood, but
Right.
sometimes it works. Yeah.
So for job placement, do
Yep.
you guys, how does the job placement piece of the puzzle work with folks who are just graduating?
Super easy. We have great internship programs. I truly believe in internships. I think you can have average grades and do an excellent job in an internship and it would equal a job. And you can have really good grades, and if you don't do well in an internship, that may not equal a job. Being able to show that you can get up in the morning, go to work, interact with people, and put in the hours, I think is super important. And we got internships set up all over the state and out of state too.
And it helps to, to share that with your students, and when they're getting in the door and they're learning about the program and they're beginning their education and their
Right.
journey through the program, that you have the opportunity to turn this into a career where as soon as you get out of school, like you don't have to finish school and then you don't have to go through another 2 or 3 years of trying to find a job. You get to get into the job immediately.
Exactly. Right now, we've only been up and running for about our 2nd year, but it's almost been 100% job placement or in graduate school with our students that have graduated recently.
And that is, does these courses happen at Tradition?
Some courses are at Tradition, some are in Hattiesburg, some are hybrid, and some are online. So we're reaching everyone.
Absolutely. I feel like we've covered everything. Did we leave anything out?
I'm sure
it's criminal justice and science. There's got to be something
I'm
we
sure
left
we
out.
left something out, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, I had this. I graduated with this degree, and it was. I started in some of those courses at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, and it was a lot of fun. But there's always a little bit new. There's a nuance to it every day. There's a little bit something that's changing and evolving.
I agree. It's always evolving. When I first started, CSI was there, and people said, "What's the difference?" And I'm like, "Well, you can't get a case done in a day." But now with the technology, they can get it done in a half a day sometimes.
That's right. Sometimes a half an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So,
Well,
exactly.
Listen, Dr. Dean Bertram, thanks for being here with us
No,
today.
thank you.
Listen, we're here every Tuesday, Tradition Tuesday, at the Tradition campus of William Carey University. We will see you right back here next Tuesday.